So what I do, the first thing that I do when I get to the house or when I'm
Mhm.
meeting a kid, is just to put a different toys around. So I try to, and I bring some toys here with me just to simulate
Show.
something. But I have pretend playing toys. I have sensory toys, which sensory I say like Play-Doh, squishy toys, slime, water, sand. I can put, I don't know if at home we have available a trampoline or a yoga ball, just to see what the kid goes for. Okay, so what he likes the most. So depending
Right.
of that, we start learning what is the need of the kid. So we have very sensory kids, like they like to touch things, they like to stimulate their hands. So unfortunately, we have kids that they play with their saliva, or that is like drinking water and they spit the water and they like to play with the water. They like things to, like, see things to fall down, or they like to
Mhm.
bang things on the floor, on the table, to hear, to listen to the sound. So I think that what I recommend to make sure that we know what is stimulates our kids the most is just observation. Just put a tons of toys on the floor and see what the kid is going for. And if he's playing the way he's playing, if he's looking on the side, now we know that he has something sensory stimulation, visually stimulation. Or if he's smelling, or he's more active and he's just running or throwing everything away. So it's just paying attention to what the kid is looking for and what is more attracted to. So I started integrating the family. Okay, he likes to play with Play-Doh. All right. Because what? Because he likes to move his hands a lot, um, or he's aversive to sound, so he doesn't like toys that make too much sound.
Mhm.
So that's the first thing that I do. Okay, we know already what they like and what they don't like. Okay,
Mhm.
so now that we know what they like, or we're gonna make a list of the things that they like. Okay, they like to do this, they like to do that, they like this texture, they don't like to be hugged, they don't like loud
To be touched.
sounds, they like
Mhm.
to hug hard, they are rough. Or yes, I don't know if you have kids that they just come and hug you very hard, or they put the
Mhm.
chin very hard on
Yes.
you. They need that stimulus. Okay, so now that we know this, instead of just stopping the behavior, like, okay, I don't like when you cover your ears, but why is the baby
What are
covering
they?
the ears? We
Mhm.
have to find out what is the sound that is bothering them, because if they have this thing bothering them, they cannot concentrate, so they cannot learn new techniques, or they cannot progress, because it's so much stimulation around that it gets blocked.
And
Okay, so as soon,
sometimes though, and sometimes those cases they hearing something that you barely hear. It's amazing how the sense it's so intense
it's
that you know
amazing.
that if you pay attention, you maybe you're hearing something that for them is very disturbing.
Yes,
So it's
and the same
like
thing with slime.
investigation.
Yes,
You're
we
an
have to,
investigator.
with a magnifier. We
Mhm.
have to pay attention to little details. I recommend it daily, and it's depending of the need of the kid, because there are some kids that they get overstimulated if you do it for too long, or they get overstimulated if you over the weight you are using, if you're using too much weight, if you're using too much. We have to be very
Balance
very
it.
careful, and that's why I always said, like, with a una lupa, like
Magnifier.
with a
With la
magnifier.
lupa.
uh,
Yes. So
just
you
pay
re-
attention, because sometimes you give the kid a trampoline to jump, and then they cannot stop, and then they are so hyper that they cannot stop because they get overstimulated. Okay, you put music because they like the sound. Okay, we're gonna put the music, and maybe it took too long to change the song, or too long being by himself playing with the music, that is gonna be very difficult to transition. Okay, so we have to, I recommend it every single day. For example, the sensory activities when you are having dinner, or when you are dating them, or you are trying to teach something new and you need to calm them down a little bit. So do the sensory activity before you're going to teach new things. Or for older kids, you can just do, like, okay, I have this Play-Doh that you love, so let's do this first, and then you can have this. But we
Interesting.
have to teach them the first and then technique for before. So I will recommend it every single day, as many times as the kid needed, because everybody is different, and sometimes they need more hugs than other kids, and sometimes they need
Yeah.
to play with water more than once per day. So it's just depending on the kid and how we can communicate with them and how we can teach them to communicate with us, to tell us what they need. If we have kids that they are picky eaters, they just like crunchy, they just like french fries, they just like chicken, or yeah, or just yogurt, they don't like to eat anything strong hard. So we have to pay attention, and I have some toys here
Mm-hmm.
to um to pay attention to what they like, so what they are avoiding and what textures they like. Because if the kid and the baby, we can notice these situations since the baby, since they are little, since they start touching the food and they start bringing the food to their mouth. If you see already that the kid is like, I don't like broccoli, I don't like, try to expose the baby since they are little to textures and different things. Even if they don't like it, just leave it there, because they have to get used to it,
Yeah.
because when they get older, it is more difficult to teach them. Okay, so we have kids that, for example, 3 4 years old, they don't like to eat anything that is strawberries, they don't like to eat anything that is gooey, nothing that is slimy, banana, or you tell me what else we can. So if the baby is not touching it, for sure is not going to put it in their mouth. Okay, so what we have to start is integrating those textures, maybe not as food, but as a different toys. So we have like therapy party.
Pudding. Mm-hmm.
It can be slime, it can be cornstarch with water, shaving cream. So just to start playing around, okay, which texture he tolerate, or she or he tolerates, or and which texture he doesn't like or she doesn't like. Okay, I bought this.
Oh, I love those. Yes.
So, and these ones has the little dots like the strawberries,
Mm-hmm.
So we have to
Also
pay
the smell.
attention. Yes, and they have different smells. So we have to pay attention to why is he doesn't like this taste, why he doesn't like this texture. So if we can find something similar that he doesn't have to put in his mouth, and we just play, and we start like showing them that this is not that bad. It's not that bad. It's just something that you can play, and we can have fun with them. And then you start integrating the food little by little, until they get comfortable with the smell or whatever it is that is bothering them. So I feel like the youngest you can catch any conduct that you don't like, or you feel like this looks different. I feel like since they are babies, we should stimulate our babies always. Since they are babies, stimulate them with music, stimulate them with massages, stimulate them with different sounds and colors and lights. We always have to stimulate the baby, read into the baby, let them touch different things. Let's take them to the grass, like let them then touch the sand, of course not with the hands, because we don't want them to put it in their mouth, but their feet. So since they are babies, we can start stimulating the kid. Since they are 6 months old, you start noticing that if they are responding to their name, if they are smiling, if they are acknowledging the other people. So if you see that since they are very tiny, they are not responding to their names and they are not making eye contact, we have to stimulate even more. Don't worry, like don't take him to a neurologist or anything, because they're not going to give you a diagnosis, but you have to start stimulating. If they don't like to touch some certain textures, okay, we're gonna try with different textures, but from the beginning, don't get scared. Oh no, he doesn't like strawberries, I'm never going to give him strawberries. No, try, and the banana, and smoosh it, and try just to play with it, and try just to put it in the leaves, like let them smell things. I think that early stimulation has to be for every single kid, and more if you have like a year and a half, a year old kid. 2 years and is not responding to their names and is not making eye contact. They spend a lot of time playing them by themselves. Stimulation, I think that it makes such a big difference for me to see. I don't know, I cannot predict the future, right? But I'm sure that the kids that we have teach since they are 1.5 or 2, they make a huge difference in their life when they are older. For the communication, for transitioning, feeding, I feel like if we do the
Yeah.
early intervention, yes.
Yeah. It's never too late to start intervention.
No,
That's true. Thank you,
never.
Linda.
It's never too late. It is true that we see more progress when the kids are younger, but there is never too late.